So
Yep.
it looks like everyone's got to be ready at this point.
Yep, absolutely. You and I are ready. The chat's ready. The chat's about to riot, actually. And now we are getting underway with the beginning of this match on border between Rise Nation and Adventure Force.
Yep.
So, Razor, what do you think so far? What do you think is going to happen during this match? What do you think of the bans, or what do you think of the way that Rise Nation played border just last week?
I watched their map
Wednesday?
on border. Yeah, it was last week against Disrupt, and I mean they looked fairly dominant on border. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 7-1 over DG. So they looked very strong in that map. So I would expect them to come out swinging here against Adventure Force. Adventure Force did have a rough week last week against Obey. So look for them to try and bring this one back and try to get some more points on the board, as they are sitting in they're sitting in 6th place. So definitely need to be putting some points on the board if they want to try to make it into Pro League.
Yeah, Adventure Force here coming out with a Maverick ban, and that's actually, I think, due to the fact of, like, you see it a lot in LATAM, and you see it all the time on Clubhouse specifically for all regions, where they'll bring a Maverick, and in order to attack CCTV, they will Maverick open the top of the reinforcement and the bottom of the reinforcement, causing it to become soft, and that has become more and more prevalent as Maverick has been introduced into the game. So I think that Adventure Force just want to, get rid of that, force Rise Nation to play a bit more standardized in terms of using a Hibana or a Thermite to open up the armory wall or anything else that they would want to open. They also just don't want to have to worry about Maverick holes on the side of reinforcements facing directly into sight and have to, watch out for that little guy sitting in a peephole pretty much. The Echo ban makes sense. The Mira ban makes sense. Capital ban also makes sense. Capital being off the board makes the position behind the half wall upstairs in lockers that much stronger. So we're just gonna have to see how this plays out on the side of the defense first, because I feel like based on the bans, this could end up being a very defender sided experience. It's all going to depend on the verticality in terms of like what holes they put in the floor in order to try to halt the attacking progress, if they want to take control of downstairs or if they just want to use the holes from below. There are currently 2 C4s on the board for Adventure Force in the hands of Euphoria and Breezy. There's also a lot of intel operators being brought. I know people typically don't want to talk about Lesion being an intel op, but that is part of what he does. Yes, he is considered at the very core of his operator specifications as a trap operator, but because he can place so many Lesion mines in so many different places, he can obviously give a lot of intel as well.
Yeah, definitely a big operator.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I mean, Lesion's definitely just a huge intel operator. A lot of people, like you said, don't think of him as that, but he's definitely one of those operators that if you are going to bring him, he's going to bring so much intel. Because people can't really push down these hallways until they either destroy the goo mine or they have to walk over it. And you can see where your goo mines are on your screen, so you can tell if someone's shot this. You can hear it through the sound cue, so definitely something that can be very useful regarding information. So we'll be going up to the top floor here. I mean, we got a pretty standard lineup on both sides. You're going to be seeing the Hibana, so no Thermite being brought out by Rise. Looks like they want to go for this office take as well, as they do have, I believe this is the Jaeger of Throw. He's going to be trying to hold off this attack for the time being.
No IQ being brought by the attack is kind of curious, because there are so many things that IQ could be used for, specifically with this lineup, to locate Lesion mines, Valkyrie cameras, the Evil Eyes if they can't get direct access to where they are, etc. But it looks like right now Adventure Force is going to be holding down office pretty tight. They have the triple wall reinforced. They're going to have Rise is going to have to try to open that up if they want to make any forward progress. Adam right now pushing in through the office window immediately and just looking for Breezy, who was playing in that room, and now there he is. Actually, he's going to be Throw, and Throw's going to win that fight playing at the half wall. but he's very, very weak. So they were able to trade it out, and the attackers are in an advantage here in terms of their life. Throws actually could walk right into some shots, but is going to pre-fire England instead, trying to throw a grenade as one pushes down the hallway and is going to pick him off, I believe. Yeah, that is Vandal. Thatcher holding down CCTV, making sure that nobody's going to flank and push from Armory and surround the attackers.
Definitely gonna have to try to push in through this office here. We're evened out. A lot of trades coming back and forth. Only 50 seconds left for this push to come out, and they still have a player down below. I believe that's going to be either Breezy or Euphoria on that Valkyrie, or on the Nitro Cell at least. So it looks like it is going to be Breezy. So does have a Nitro Cell to play with, and we do have a Nitro Cell on Euphoria as well. So still a lot of denial here from the defense, as they're going to start to waste this utility on the attack. Vandal, no EMP grenades left, but Beastly going to come right up middle stairs. Looks like the head right off of Vandal. Did have a pre-placed Nitro Cell, but it's not going to land onto any of the attackers. A trade will come out from Acid as it makes this a 2v2 here with about 20 seconds left in the round.
It's all going to be up to Acid to whether or not he can cover Beastly while he goes for the plant. Beastly does have Euphoria pinned down. Knowing his exact location is now going to go for the plant, as Acid is going to try to cover him, throwing in one flashbang and just trying to distract the defenders as possible to prevent Euphoria from throwing that C4. Goes for a wallbang, can't quite hit it, and now the plant has been dropped. Acid backing off now. Euphoria taking a little bit of damage. Flashbang's going out to try to mask Beastly's retreat, but it's not gonna work. Acid does have the cross and is gonna land that shot onto Breezy, but does he know that Euphoria is directly to his left? And yes, he did after that pre-fire from Euphoria. And Rise are going to take the first round here on Border.
An excellent post-plant and plant position there from Rise. You saw the Hibana go in for that plant on the concrete inside of Archives, and it was just perfect cover there from Acid, able to not only cover his teammate in the plant, but like while they were starting the plant, but also in the post-plant, having that angle inside of Fountain. Played it pretty much perfectly as you can.
Yeah, now it looks like Doc is going to be brought instead of Maestro. I guess the Maestro cannons just weren't placed in positions to actually help the defense. But what we saw out of Rise there was very, very good. It's commonly known that trades, if they're one-for-one trades, they usually benefit the attackers as long as the attackers can occupy the space that the defenders used to be defending. So we saw Rise slowly but surely utilizing different crossfires and trading out efficiently. They were able to take control and keep it at an even man count all the way up to the plant scenario. So that round went about as well as you would want it to, in terms of if you're going to lose players on both sides at the same time. I'd be surprised if if Adventure Force try to position themselves inside the office the same way. Yes, it did kind of work. You can say that, oh, maybe they win a gunfight here instead of lose it, and then the whole round goes differently. But the thing is that Rise is going to read into this, and there are a multitude of angles that they didn't utilize the last round that they can utilize this round. Like having Buck go to the top of the skylight above the office and just throwing nades down towards that half wall to try to dislodge the player playing at that location, which seemed to be a pinnacle of their defense up to the point of them at least trying to get into the office.
Definitely to see possibly even another, like the opposite attack here, maybe even going for the main wall of Armory. They do spot the Legion, I believe, here inside of CCTV with that punch hole. So Acid might be able to just pre-fire this as the spot will come out. He will go for the pre-fire. Excellent teamwork there on the side of Rise, looking like they are starting off just as strong as they ended out last week against Disrupt. Definitely looking like this is a map that you do not want to take Rise to.
When it comes to defenders you don't want to lose early. In this case, those defenders are usually Maestro, Smoke, and then Legion in that order, depending on how you're set up. And losing Legion in this position right now could be disastrous for Adventure Force, at least in this round. Breezy is still underneath, is going to be opening up hatches to help his teammates rotate around the map if they need to, try to stop the plant from below. Euphoria is just getting on his cameras, looking for any kind of intel that he can, trying to see if CCTV is clear, because if it is, he could rotate through like we saw before. But if I had to put money on it, I'd say that Vandal is going to be watching CCTV like a hawk, waiting for anybody to try to rotate in that direction. However, Adam has pushed his way into the office and is right outside of the Archives, is going to spot Throw and is going to get Throw's going to get taken out by Beastly. They did have a crossfire on him. Adam could have gotten that kill. but it's going to be Beastly who gets it instead. Now opening up the long angle through Archives all the way through Lockers. This is going to pin down the defenders heavily, as Suzaku's going to be watching Metal. Euphoria going for a little bit of pre-fire, not quite landing anything. And I know for a fact Euphoria definitely wants to try to get out of his position. He's not really helping his team, but Vandal's right outside the door, so he's going to have to wait until the perfect opportunity, as now Euphoria is watching Vandal and seeing what he's looking at. As he sees him go on a drone, he's just checking to make sure that he's not going to, hop off the drone as soon as he spots him trying to flank. Breezy does come up the stairs, and that will prompt Vandal to get off of his drone. With about 40 seconds left, though, Rise are in a great position to win this round, especially after that.
Breezy just not looking the right way. Will fall to England. An excellent roam clear to take that Nitro off the board. The plant will start to go down from Beastly as the flashbangs will start to blind out Suzaku. Acid will get a kill onto Euphoria, and it's going to be an ace situation for Suzaku. But no, it'll be a flawless round here for Rise Nation, as again, they look very strong on border.
Yeah, there's just I think that like I talked about, the predictability of this map and utilizing some very, very powerful angles to create crossfires. The droning for Rise right now seems to be exactly what it needs to be to get the players in the right position at the right time. I think that if Adventure Force is going to go back to Armory, they have to figure out a way to either hold CCTV or prevent the attackers from attacking down below, which is so difficult because of the positions you have to hold as defenders on this site. We did see that Adventure Force opted not to defend the office as heavily as they did before, sort of letting Adam just walk right in, which gave Beastly the opportunity to open up that long angle that looks all the way from Archives into Lockers and holds down a lot of the defenders in place, forcing them to walk directly into a very, very dangerous angle that they don't want to. So I'd imagine that in order for Adventure Force to win this next round, like I said, they need to at least dedicate someone to trying to hold the office for as long as possible and try to dislodge Vandal from his flank watch position so that they can actually make something happen. Otherwise, they're just kind of sitting ducks waiting for Rise to dictate the play.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I do think it's interesting that we're going again to the top floor for a third time in a row. Border's kind of a weird map as to, like, the only two really viable sites, I would say, are going to be this top floor here of Armory and Archives, and then Ventilation and Workshop. And even if you were to go downstairs to Ventilation Workshop, it's pretty much the same as trying to defend the top floor. You'll normally see teams that will put a heavy emphasis on the top floor roam when the site is downstairs. So it's definitely an interesting map in that regard. So not too surprised to see them go to this site for a third time in a row, but it's definitely questionable, as I would only, like, you got to try to switch it up here eventually.
Yeah, Throw right now going to be taking a little bit of damage. Was trying to delay as much time as possible using Vigil's ability to stay invisible to drones for at least a little while. He did waste a minute, but still forfeiting control to Rise. Now it looks like Rise are actually going to be pushing the opposite side this time instead of going for that office take, trying to just, keep Adventure Force on their toes. Switching up attacks can be, really powerful at times, and especially with the way that Rise are setting up with these flank drones and Beastly just being able to open the wall, no problem. No bandits, no mutes. This is once again looking good in the favor of Rise, but once again, these cameras and no IQ on the board is going to hurt them more in this kind of attack than it is going to be in the office take, because I feel like these cameras are set up specifically for more of an Armory push. We've seen that same camera right up against the Armory wall the last 2 rounds as well. Throw is still alive downstairs, just going to be looking for anybody trying to push these defenders out from below, and Throw's going to take out England. That's a huge kill. Buck is now off the board, no grenades. So, as long as Throw can stay alive here and just continue to be a nuisance side of Rise, preventing them from getting as much control as possible, Adventure Force look like they could win this round. I wouldn't be surprised if Rise actually switched it back around, but they have already used all of their hard destruction to start opening up this wall. Adam does know that there is one player playing inside of Lockers as he wants to push in, but doesn't know if anyone's behind half wall or not, and that's the intel that he's waiting for. If no one's behind half wall, they're just going to push in and try to go for the plant, and he's going to drone it right now to C. but he has to dodge the person playing in this position. He doesn't know, though, because now he knows where Vigil is. Okay, so he knows nobody's behind half wall, but Throw is just going to go for the pre-fire and take Adam down. What a shot from Throw. With almost a triple, but no, Vandal's going to take him down. And now Rise are going to have to try to push in, even though Vandal's so weak. All he can do is really watch flank at this point.
Yeah, this looks like it might be the first round here to go in the favor of Adventure Force as the spots are going to start coming out through the wall. Euphoria accidentally gets on a camera and will fall to the Ash on the flank. The perfect flank from Acid, but it's going to be a cleanup there from Suzaku and Breezy, putting the first round on the board here for Adventure Force. And it couldn't have come at a perfect more time. I mean, they probably weren't going to go to this top floor again if they lost it. And now that they have won it, they definitely can't go to that top floor. So definitely a big round to win before this gets out of hand too fast.
Do you see how close Breezy was to actually getting taken down by Acid there? I mean, obviously Breezy wants to stop the plant from going down. That's why he didn't turn to aim at Acid, knowing that his teammate is going to have his back playing inside of Archives. But Acid gets in there, takes down Valkyrie, who I guess fat fingered and got on the camera for some reason, like in the middle of trying to either throw a C4 or wall bang or something. And then Acid just comes up out of nowhere, takes down Valk, and Breezy has that discipline to just keep watching towards the wall because he knows he has to stop the plant from going down, and he narrowly escapes behind the locker to dodge those bullets coming from Acid. So that could have been a lot closer than it was, but still a much better defense from Adventure Force. But I have to say that most of that is probably in part due to Rise attacking the opposite side of the map this time instead of the office. And then because they used their hard destruction, they had no ability to switch it back, which could have been effective. But Throw also playing great that round, definitely, stopped a lot of Rise's progress, especially taking down that Buck, because Buck is primarily used on this map if he can get downstairs control to dislodge defenders from certain locations. And if you have your teammates watching the angles where those defenders are playing, people usually just walk right into your bullets and it's free kills.
Yeah, it's always pretty much free kills, and we'll be looking at finally the downstairs defense here. And I do want to mention something. I mean, we have yet to see Rise Nation switch up their lineup here on attack. They have consistently brought this Ash, Buck, Thatcher, Hibana, and Zofia combo consistently here, all 4 rounds, and the lineup is pretty consistent as well for Adventure Force, except for a few of the operators. We are seeing the Pulse be brought here now by by Throw. So definitely look to see how they play this. It looks like they have 3 Nitro cells on the board to play a very vertical pressure, so it should be interesting to see how well they decide to use that. First kill will go in favor of Breezy, or of Euphoria onto Beastly, my apologies. But we're going to be seeing a 4v4 here. It's going to be not only the Pulse, but also the Hibana taken off the board. So your only hard destructor, and if those hatches are reinforced upstairs, it's going to make this attack a lot more difficult here for Rise Nation.
Absolutely. What we continue to see from Rise is excellent drone placement, and I feel like that's sort of the downfall of Adventure Force right now. They just keep walking into the crossfires that Rise have set up based on all the intel that they can gather. Cryo is being pressured right now from Archives. He's going to drop down after expending a Legion Mine and narrowly dodging a grenade, but he's now going to flank back up Metal to try to catch any of the attackers off guard if he can. He is in a good position to make something happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets droned out soon playing in this position. Rise sort of backing off a little bit and just reassessing their position as Vandal is trying to find some intel for his teammates. And Euphoria is still playing inside a Passport. That's a big problem for Rise if they don't know that he's there. Is going to be maybe going for some wall bangs and can catch some of the attackers off guard. And he definitely does. Adam had no idea he was there. And now Euphoria in another gunfight and is going to get flashbanged. Vandal picking up one onto Breezy. Can Acid push in and get this kill? Yes, he can. Easy frags Rim. Vandal and Acid now in the lobby with both of the remaining defenders seemingly upstairs as Cryo's going to drop down, but he's so low on health. he has to be very careful, but he is going to be able to skate his way back into sight, throw a Legion Mine over, and then throw one at the hole and wait for the player who's inevitably going to push through the bathroom. Suzaku now pushing from the B site is going to down one and not the other, and Crimes is going to finish it off. Great round from Adventure Force there, and Rise seeming to sort of falter a little bit in their push, but good rotations from Adventure Force.
Yeah, good rotations indeed, and it just kind of came down to those trades. I mean, we saw the trades go back and forth between Adventure Force and Rise, really keeping man count even the entire way up until, of course, the final two players. And we even saw a trade basically on that down onto the Legion. So if only there was the headshot wasn't hit by Cryo, that could have been a clutch there for Beastly.
That would have been one heck of a clutch if it was. He would have had to walk through Goo Mine if it didn't get shot, kill Suzaku, who was playing the cross by the table, and then look hard left immediately and kill Cryo, who was on very low health. Rise definitely missed a few opportunities to take him down as he was rotating through the lobby in metal stairs, but now Adventure Force going to go to customs inspection. This is one of the off sites that we have not seen yet, mainly because, like you said, there are really only 2 viable sites on this map until at least they do some kind of a rework for it. But this is the more common one that we see. Bathroom Tellers seems to not really be in the favor of any teams at the moment, even though there are some interesting defensive strategies, mainly utilizing Castle. But in this particular scenario, it looks like Adventure Force are just going to want to try to keep control of CC as long as possible. They're going to throw multiple cameras into this room just to try to get as much intel on the attackers as they can, because the attackers definitely want to take control of CC. Like, there's no reason not to. It's full control vertically above the site. You can lock down the defenders by opening up certain angles. And a pre-fire from Adam, almost landing, but not quite, as Vandal has taken a ton of damage, but is going to win the fight onto Cryo. That is the Doc down, but he is very low now, and in this Thatcher role, he's probably, like I said, most likely only going to be watching flank. But with the hatch reinforced, Breezy could give this up if he wants, but it looks like he's just going to try to stay up here as long as possible. They do have the hatch open so he can drop back down to site if too much pressure is applied to him. I imagine that once he expends a lot of the attacker utility, he will try to, back off and stay alive as long as possible. As Throw is also getting pressured inside of ventilation, just trying to prevent the attackers from gaining as much ground as possible. But Breezy has been taken down by Adam now, and Rise find themselves in a 5v3 scenario with Throw and Euphoria both off-site trying to hold down Workshop.
So already losing your Mute and your Doc early on, not the 2 most important operators. You do lose a Nitro Cell, so that's kind of a big deal, but I mean, you still have 3 very capable players that try to clutch this out, and they're going to need to try to find some kills here if they want to try to bring this round back into their favor. Only a half the round left remaining, and the attack is kind of taking their time here. They know that they have the man advantage, and they know that they have the time in order to make this execute happen. They just need to make sure they know where these remaining players are, as the drones are still coming out from the side of Rise. So looking to see exactly where this attack is going to form itself.
I imagine that unless Throw can make himself relevant in this round, that Rise are going to win it solely based on their positioning. They know that Throw is still inside of the Workshop. Suzaku is the only one on site right now, and that has been opened. This is effectively going to pin down his position and allow Beastly to try to move in for the plant by the customs doorway. As Buck now does drop down, Suzaku did hear him, and England's going to pick up a kill onto Euphoria, Acid onto Throw, and then Suzaku, left with no choice, has to try to do something, and is going to get taken down by England as well. So, well played from Rise. Like you said, they took their time. They knew that after a minute and a half into the round, they were in a 3v5, and with 2 players being effectively cut off from the site, they didn't need to pressure those players. They sort of just needed to leave them there. They were in, I don't want to call it irrelevant positions, but positions that aren't going to affect and execute onto the site directly. Especially after they opened the hatch, there really wasn't much that Adventure Force could do other than just try to go for kills. And obviously with the crossfires that Rise are establishing and the intel that they're gaining, they're not going to fall victim to something so silly.
No, definitely not. And definitely an excellent round there from Rise. Definitely looking like what we saw in the first 2 rounds. We saw very coordinated pushes and pretty flawless executions, and the last round quite literally being a flawless round. Take a look at the scoreboard. Acid really bringing it alive for his team, as the kills are a little bit more spread out, I would say, through Adventure Force, and possibly just more kills going in the favor of Rise Nations, as the rounds that they've won have been quite dominant, to say the least. It seems as though Adventure Force are kind of winning those close rounds and coming down to the last few players. So they definitely need to try to step something up here in order to try to bring this map back in favor of them and try to get us to a 3-3 half after this last round.
I think that a 3-3 half, it would benefit Adventure Force more than it would Rise. Rise obviously want to win as many attacking rounds as possible. Given how they've been attacking it, they need to win as many as possible. But Adventure Force right now just, going to be going back upstairs. Cryo playing by the half wall in the office. Just waiting, biding his time, trying to waste as much of it as possible. We saw him playing in this position before, got a nice 2-piece, one onto Adam, and then one onto England right after. We do see England on the roof, I believe, and he could come over here as Cryo is going to get spotted. The wall is still closed behind him, so he does have a lot of time. And look, we are actually going to see England trying to vault up on top of something. Oh, he's lining up the grenade. He's lining up the grenade to land right on top of Cryogen, but he's waiting for the call out to say that he's in that position. He does throw it. Yields nothing. That could have been very interesting. But this is one of the angles that I was talking about, is Cryo has actually all the way downstairs to the bathroom, effectively giving up control of the office. The Vigil scan on the drone is going to be, troublesome for Rise. They're just going to wait and see if they can figure out where he is and where he's playing. But Adventure Force are just biding their time, waiting patiently, as Throw is actually on the metal staircase. Adam has gotten control of Fountain, but there is a soft wall to his left, and it seems like Throw is thinking of maybe impacting at just the right moment, given a call out from his teammate. Vandal will pick up one onto Euphoria, as utility is now going to be expended from the attackers to try and lock down the site. Cryo taking a ton of damage from Vandal, who is still playing in CT, watching the rotations of the defenders, making sure they can't rotate safely from the metal staircase and into sight or out of it. So Throw now just waiting, like I said, with the impact nade, is going to throw it. Will he rush in? No, he won't, but he does spot one of the players from Rise, but can't quite land the shots. Vandal now just waiting still on the flank, keeping control of CC. This is exactly what they need, and the plant is going down. Acid will pick off one, England another. There goes Throw, and now it looks like this plant could go down pretty easily. Cryo is very, very weak. Going to try to throw a Legion Mine, but accidentally hit the lockers itself. He's going to be peeking very, very carefully. Can almost land that shot onto Vandal, but not quite, as he is taken down by Adam. Easy attacks from Rise here.
And then another flawless round as well. So gonna end off that half 4-2 in favor of Rise Nation, as we will switch over to our second half, and we'll see if we can see some of the same coming out from Adventure Force. So definitely a very strong round, a strong half for Rise Nation. Really obviously only 2 of those rounds going in favor of Adventure Force, and those rounds were fairly close, to say the least. So definitely look to see that Rise Nation are very dominant on their attacks here on border. So we'll just have to see exactly how well they do on their defenses now. As if you weren't here, I will just go over what the round kind of looked like. So the first round, there was a plant by Rise, and then they finished it off with kills. Round 2, kills. Round 3, it was kills in favor of Adventure Force. 2 was kills in favor of Rise Nation. Round 4 was kills in favor of Adventure Force, and then rounds 5 and 6 were both flawless rounds in favor of Rise Nation. So definitely just dominance on the side of Rise Nation.
So one thing I want to definitely look at here is the difference in the way that Rise defend upstairs versus the way that Adventure Force do. Like I said before, I think that Rise definitely won the ban phase here when it comes to map selection, at least for this map. You know, Bandit is being brought to deny as much of the wall, as much of the hard destruction as possible. Castle is brought to eat up the soft destruction, being brought by only Zofia at the moment, even though Hibana can be used to open those as well. In an ideal world, you'd like to save as much hard destruction as possible. Throw bringing the Twitch, just probably mainly for the weapon, or to maybe catch a Bandit battery or a Valkyrie camera if you can spot them. Adam right now playing inside a CC with a nice hole looking out towards the valley spawn. And are any of the attackers actually going to push into it? No, they're not. Adam is going to back off, hop on cameras, and just try to gain as much intel for his team as possible. A little bit of a missed Valk cam there, not able to gather all the intel that they would like. Breezy is droning out into CC, spotting that player at the monitors. Now England is going to jump out and go for a shot. What is he going to see? Nothing, and is going to run back inside. Like I said, that Valkyrie camera he threw is meant to be able to see, you know, more than that, I would assume, but it can still see the entire rappel on the wall, so it's not, you know, it's not necessarily a poorly thrown Valk cam, it's just not in the exact position he wants it to be, as Adam is going to spot one. That is a shot onto Cryogen. Hibana is off the board, and Adam just proving to be a thorn in Adventure Force's side, as they still have yet to take any control of much of anything at all. Throw is watching the flank, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a nice kill there to take down one of the two hard breachers. Adventure Force did decide to bring two of them, the Thermite and the Hibana. So it looks like England, he might decide to go for another run out here. He does have Euphoria on the rappel. Yes, right, he's going to run right out, and he will get the headshot onto Euphoria, making this a 5-3 man count with about a minute 15 left. Throw is on low HP too. It looks like this might be another dominant round for Rise Nation as they look to make a trade happen, but another kill comes out from the Valkyrie, and so it's all left up to Throw on about 20 HP. Is he able to find one kill? Yes, he's a nice headshot onto Vandal. Can he find a second? No, it's going to be the Jaeger rotating in through CCTV. Actually, no, he was just in CCTV the entire time, so just a misplay there by the Twitch, and an excellent round yet again from Rise Nation.
Yeah, Jaeger rotated in after the trade onto Castle. So that made it an effective 2-for-1 in the favor of the defenders in terms of the trade in that gunfight specifically. A lot of stalling out from Adventure Force, and I think it's just mainly due to not having necessarily the information or the confidence to directly push into CC. They know they want to take it over, but the position that Adam was playing, it makes it extremely difficult to actually get in there. So, you know, Cryo now is actually going to be bringing IQ to try to locate as much of the defensive cameras as possible. But, you know, it might be too little too late in a sense, because Rise already won upstairs. If they lose here, they still have another chance at ventilation, which is really what they want. They don't really want to have to go to an offsite if they can help it. And yeah, a little bit more soft destruction being brought, knowing that the defenders are going to go to its site, not upstairs. No Buck being brought, which is kind of curious. He brings so much more to the table in terms of the actual destruction itself. Acid playing on the Maestro is going to be setting up an Evil Eye to watch the B-bomb itself. Most likely a Thatcher will be expended to get rid of that. And
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, Rise just overall looking strong. I'm surprised there's no rotation into the bathroom, but if an attack does come from the Teller side, opening up the bathroom wall is going to yield little help, honestly. Like, it's opening up just the bathroom wall, even if they're able to get control of, you know, customs or something like that isn't going to really do much for them. So we're just going to have to see what Cryogen can find on his IQ scanner and how much of that intel is actually going to help out this attack itself.
A bomb has been located.
Exactly, and starting to kind of get away here from Adventure Force. They've got to try to figure something out here before this gets pushed over to match points. Again, One more round until it will be at that point, and looks like Throw, he's already made his way upstairs, has a drone to possibly find some intel for him. So spot the player over towards half wall, but there's 3 players playing on this top floor inside of Armory, so he's gonna have to deal with all 3 of them, as looks like it's gonna be Beastly, England, as well as I believe the Mosley of Vandal, who is also here, but the pre-fires come out. That will be a down onto Throw. Nice shots there by England to get Throw on to the ground. So already not looking good here for Adventure Force. Beastly is actually gonna go for the rotate out the window, possibly just to get back to site there.
Yeah, he's going to rotate back to site. Cryo is going to get taken, or is going to take down England, excuse me. Is going to take down another. No, he won't. Is going to get taken down by the Mozzie. Zofia coming in to look for the trade. Can't quite land it, as it looks like Suzaku is also inside of lockers. They are kind of stuck now, waiting. They've probably expended most of their drones, and Vandal is still just playing up here. Sees the laser pointing towards him. Does Euphoria know where he is? He's going to have to pre-fire this to win the fight. Yes, he will win it. Great shot by him. Good clear by Adventure Force. About a minute left, so they're making good time. Beastly playing inside of sight, just waiting for anybody, and the bathroom wall has been open, so this is actually going to work now that they have full control of the upstairs. The hatch in CC is open to prevent any rotates through the hallway. And now Beastly playing by the front door, but I think Euphoria might have spotted him there for a second. He does have his concussions. He could try to pinch him with a teammate if he just asked one of his teammates to go outside, but Beastly's actually going to rotate his way into detention. This is a very smart rotate. I don't know if Euphoria even knew he was there, as some shots are going to ring past him. No, not quite. Euphoria doesn't know where he just got shot from. Is going to be backing off just to let his teammates gather more intel and do a little bit more work. He's now going to move over above the hatch. Could drop down onto the server, as Beastly's going to rotate his way back into detention, potentially to try to win this fight onto Throw, who is above, but Breezy is already going for the plant. The Maestro Cam is getting him very, very low, and Adam's going to try to take him down, but not quite. Adam has down another, maybe even by a Maestro Cam, and now the defenders are in a flurry, trying to retake control of the site. They're going to get 1, not 2. Adam's going to take down another, finally getting that kill. And now he's going to go for the defuse. Throw has to make something happen here. Can't quite see it. Acid is going to win the fight, though, onto Throw, who was trying to peek the diffuser from far, far back inside of B-Bomb. And Rise are going to win yet another round. Great retake from them.
Throw, you gotta help the team. That was, I mean, again, just another. And that round looked like it could have gone the way of Adventure Force, but it ultimately did not. So, match point coming in here from Rise Nation, and again, it just goes to show you why you do not take them to border. Acid with 12 kills, 12 and 2. 12 and 2 from Acid. He has only died in the rounds in which they've lost. So if you're on Adventure Force, I would just send all 5 of your players at Acid, because obviously if he dies, then you guys win the round like by default, I guess.
Well, you still have to fight through the coordination that Rise are bringing here. They're not. It's not just Acid running in and getting all the kills. You have to keep in mind that there's so much more going into it. You know, it wasn't looking good for Adventure Force upstairs. It took them a little while to get control. They finally did. They had good time management there, but once they got into sight and opened up bathroom, they just couldn't, finish the job. They didn't have the proper cover on each other in order to stop the defenders from winning their gunfights. Even though they were able to bring it down into a 2v1 with the diffuser planted, the diffuser was in probably the worst position for Throw to have to try to win the fights. He couldn't win the fights from inside of B-Bomb, which they were able to effectively take control of once Acid gave it up. But what it really all came down to was the position of the plant, which is what ultimately lost Adventure Force the round. So, Rise Nation now going to the custom site. We saw this earlier from Adventure Force. And we're just going to see how their attacks differ and their defenses, obviously. Adam going for a little bit of a run out, just obviously feeling very confident in this position. He's going to be once again playing inside of CC, but with an ACOG this time. Does have an impact grenade if he needs to retreat quickly. England is going to be playing on the east staircase. This could be a really big problem if the attackers don't know that he's here. He's just biding his time, waiting for anybody to try to push in. But no attacker's going to push in here unless they know for a fact that it's clear. Vandal is looking out the window in case any shots come in from CC or the Valley itself. Another drone is going to get sent in, is going to spot England. He's going to have to do something here. The door has been opened up, and he's going to have to make a break for it. Run, run, run. England, can you get away? He's going to get one, but not the other. Zofia coming in with the trade. So this is exactly what I was talking about before. This is how you need to. This is how you efficiently trade out. He Twitch died, but then Jaeger died, and now Zofia occupies the space that Jaeger was playing in. So that's an efficient trade. A little bit of damage being put onto Cryogen. I apologize. And Euphoria taking a little bit of damage from a Legion Mine, but more and more control being taken by the attackers as we progress forward. Nice shot from Euphoria onto Adam.
Euphoria just deletes Adam from inside of security here. We'll see Euphoria. He might go for a second kill onto Acid. We'll light him up just a bit, but it is Doc, so he does have the ability to stim himself back up if need be, and if he is given the opportunity. We'll go for the aggressive peek, but will not find the kill onto Euphoria, as we might possibly see our first round of the second half here for Adventure Force. They are in a 4v2 situation here. Again, the bomb site is downstairs inside of Ventilation Workshop. Vandal will try to bring man count back. No, it's actually inside of Custom, so my apologies. Vandal trying to bring things back for his team. He will die off though, making it a 3v1 for Beastly. We've seen him clutch plays like this out before, but is he going to be able to do it at this point? Beastly going to go for the Nitro Cell. Will blow right into Breezy. He walks right to it. 50 seconds left. The diffuser has been dropped on the floor. Beastly could possibly clutch this out if it's played poorly by Adventure Force, but it looks like they're going to try to regroup here and see if they can't push him as a unit. Beastly is going to get one stun to the face. The push is going to come out through the door here, but doesn't look like they're aware of where he is, and it will be finally taken out as Suzaku will find the kill and find the first attacking win here for Adventure Force.
That was a great round from Euphoria, getting the 4K there with Suzaku to clean it up at the end. Once Beastly was in that 2v1 scenario, and yes, Breezy did walk right into that C4. If he would have stayed on the plant, he would not have been killed by that C4, I'm pretty sure. At least it might have damaged him quite a bit, but I don't think it would have stopped the plant from going down. But Euphoria, still having utility in hand, was able to confirm Beastly's position inside of the mini office, and then at that point, it was just okay, let's look down the hatch. Let's, wall bang through the wall, see if we can't take him down, and that's exactly what Suzaku did. So good round there from Adventure Force. It was what I'm noticing about Rise is they always have the appropriate utility to rotate in and out of any scenario that they're in. So what I'm going to use as an example for that is Vandal was playing inside of Armory Lockers, and he was holding down that crossfire towards CC. He wasn't really playing a position that could really help when it comes to an execute, but at the moment that he thought that he might, he threw his impact to open up the hatch so he could rotate back to site quickly, or at least take a more advantageous angle when it comes to directly attacking the site. So Rise are still playing well, and Euphoria just went off that round. He got all of his frags. So I think that we're gonna have to see standout performances on a round-to-round basis from Adventure Force if they're gonna want to bring it back. And Rise just sitting, like you said, comfortably on match point. So they have to be feeling pretty good. That round, they just say to themselves, "Hey, it's an off-site. Don't sweat it. We're back on a main site now." They didn't really have much going for them when they attacked it before, so let's just sit back and wait and see what Adventure Force can throw at us.
Yeah, definitely a site that you can kind of say, like, oh yeah, off-site. We'll come back and we'll win our primary site upstairs in Armory. So Adventure Force needs to try to figure something out here on this attack if they want to obviously stay in it and try to get 1 point. Rise Nation, they've already guaranteed themselves at least a point here on this first match of the day. So looking to possibly make it 3 here. But if you are Adventure Force or a fan of Adventure Force, they definitely don't want to be leaving points on the table, as there is no playoffs for Challenger League. It's just going to be, I believe, the top 2 teams that make it into the Pro League relegation. If not, then the top 3. But definitely all the points are going to matter here, as it's only a 7-week it's only a 7 weeks of play days, so definitely need all the points that you can get. It looks like they're going to be going for this office take now, and to make their way here as Vandal is trying to deny this wall, but it looks like it will get opened up by Breezy. about half the round left remaining. We're going to be seeing this push start to happen. I assume some drones are going to start to come flying through to see if they can't find this bandit. But it will be Vandal. Hits a nice headshot on the throw, but the wall is not reinforced on to this sandwich. So they could possibly go for the wall bang and put a few bullets back through the wall towards east stairs. But isn't able to find anybody just yet, as everyone's playing it fairly passively as of right now.
One pushes through the office door. Euphoria is going to take down Vandal. Great utilization of utility to make sure the bandit was not going to be juggling the wall, utilizing those concussion grenades from the launcher. Adam still playing inside of CCTV, and Acid as well. Could potentially go for a flank, try to surround the attackers. Going to be utilizing the impact hole that they made before, as Euphoria does have the hallway locked down, but I don't think Rise are going to get aggressive from that position, as Breezy is going to come in and try to go for the wall, potentially. Yes, he is. Cryo going to take a little bit of damage. He's going to take a little bit more.
What?
Oh no, he has been downed. England is going to finish him off with the Evil Eye. Euphoria picking up another shot onto Adam as Euphoria is pushing down the hallway, knowing that the shots are coming back at him. Breezy's going to take one, but down the other. Oh my goodness, what a save. What a good time to be Zofia, especially in that position. England with a fantastic shot onto Suzaku, playing on the CC, and is going to win that fight as well onto Breezy, not anticipating the rotation. Now, with at one shot, Euphoria's going to have to win the fight of his life, but he can't. England and Rise Nation are going to close it out on this map. What a fantastic play by England. Spectacular rotations, catching Adventure Force completely off guard. And, you know, there really wasn't much more to say about it than that. It's, you know, Rise playing as they do on their map. This is, that it's seeming, Border seems to be their map at the moment.
I would definitely agree. And like you said earlier, I definitely think that Adventure Force lost that ban or the map pick phase. So definitely a very dominant map for Rise Nation. So I would expect to see this map be banned consistently against them going forward. So
right.
Definitely, they just look strong.